So, good evening, guys. Hello to everyone. Really excited about our interview tonight. Zebo has been part of iGen for a while now and really active member in the group. And just thank you for agreeing to come on and share your knowledge and share your experience. So it's going to be great. Had a few technical issues just getting set up. Zebo's favorite color is green, so his screen decided to go green for a while. And yeah, guys, if anyone is able to see this, I can see this went live, just drop a like and a comment from where you're watching from. Obviously, I am based in Ireland, County Down, so I am coming live from Ireland. And I'll ask Sebastian to introduce himself in a moment. What do you prefer? Zebo, do you prefer Sebastian or Zebo?
Sebastian is fine. Everything is fine.
Cool. So, guys, got our first comment. So, thank you so much for that. So, yes, there's a few people who were interested in a reminder. So, I'm just going to send this link out into the event and to a few people who wanted a reminder in this. So, if you just bear with me, Sebastian, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are, where you're from, what your favorite color is, and anything good like that?
Yeah, like my name is Sebastian. I'm from Germany. I am based in the southern part of Germany in Karlsruhe. And I'm 32 years old and I studied product development. Sometimes it helps, but I think it's not needed to be successful on Amazon, but it helps to put together the different pieces and puzzle to build a system. And I started my Amazon journey in January this year. So my first sale was in January and ramped up to 130K in sales in the first year. And it's not finished yet. So yeah, works quite well for me so far.
Yeah, you're certainly not finished yet. Yeah, it's awesome. You were kind of, so we ran a challenge. It was actually May. The first challenge that we ran was May, so because it was May the 4th, Star Wars Day, that yeah, that was the first challenge that we ran. So you joined that, and like what I would say is you're a little bit like Luke in that, how can I put it? So Luke Filer is a big advocate of leveraging all the information and kind of all the resources that you have at your disposal. Like if Luke's reading a book or doing a course or using a mentor, like he'll leverage every kind of inch of that. And with the challenge, you were one of the first to sign up and definitely kind of the first on the calls, always asking questions and yeah, everything like that. And I think you're pretty much attending nearly every single like coaching session as well, every Wednesday coaching session that Eamon hosts. So I think just it's really paid dividends for you. So yeah, like thank you for being a great student and kind of a great ambassador for us, because it's been such a great success story for you. And you know, obviously we do provide support, but I'd like to invite everyone to just congratulate you because, well, I'm on a bit of I had 6 1-to-1s this morning, and like there's all the opportunity available in the world, but unless you actually take action and implement things, then all the opportunity, all the information is, yeah, it's just there. So fair play to you. You really have implemented. So everyone that's watching, we'll kind of set this up as we normally do with a little bit of an interview and questions in kind of the second half. But if you're watching and you've seen Sebastian's journey, just send him a message to say congratulations and a well done. So yeah, and a congratulations and a well done from me, Sebastian, as well. It's been awesome.
So actually, talking about taking action, my Amazon journey started earlier. I signed up a business in 2019 or something like that, an Amazon business, and I paid the 40 euros per month for like 1 year. And I wanted to create a private label product, and like I studied in this field, so I had a lot of knowledge, but I always wanted to create the perfect product, but never made it to take an action. And like I built prototypes, but I never placed my first order for my own products. And then I learned about Amazon arbitrage, and like it's much easier. The like you just need to buy a product, put it online, and I made my first sale. Probably on my first sale, it was like 3 euros or something like that. It was nothing, but I was jumping around in my flat because I was so happy about it. Like it's working. It's not
It's
a
real.
scam or
Yeah.
something. Like I can make easy money online, and yeah. Then I put in capital, and as soon as I recognize that it is working, I try to scale up as much as possible, putting the systems into place. And like when I joined the challenge, or like before, there was a session with Sweeney, a sourcing session, because I wanted to improve my sourcing. And like the coaching session was like more towards setting goals and like how to scale. And like I had a call for another program, but like they were like just scratching the surface, and the costs were much higher compared to iGen. So like from price cost ratio, iGen is the best at the moment, and it's much more advanced to the other programs at the moment in Germany. So from my perspective, it's the best deal you can get. And like what I really was looking for was the community, because like the course, like I already set up my account, but for me, the community and like having the coaching sessions every week was the one thing that like was leveraging my experience, because I can ask questions to Lloyd, Luke, and Eamon. And like that's like if you are in a community, you have much more eyes to see if there is something changing in the rules of Amazon or something like that, or like the different tools. Like I used other tools before I joined the group, but like with SAS Seller Amp is a really great piece of software which increased my efficiency, and also like Actorio. For me in Germany, I can use all the websites from Spain and so on. So it's like I never would have heard of this software, because like they are really the underdog compared to tactical arbitrage.
Yeah.
Arbitrage, everybody is using tactical arbitrage, and like they are mainly focused on the US market, and their support for Germany or the European marketplaces are not that great. And Actorio is a game changer for me, and it was like I think it's 1 month ago or something like that, 3-4 weeks ago, there was the session with Actorio.
Yeah.
And I signed up, and it just blew my mind, because you save so much time, because the results from the searches are always available. You can just tweak the settings, and you have to immediately the results, compared to tactical arbitrage, where it takes hours to get or see the results. And like with these tools, and like to connect these tools is just a way to scale, and like to save the work as much, or like that to have the most efficient way to connect these tools is Google Sheets for me. Because like you can take the different information you type in while sourcing, and you have it available in all the tools afterwards with different methods. And with this approach, you can save lots of time during the day. And also, your if you use tools like Actorio, also your VAs can take advantage of the software. So you need, for example, less VAs to have the same amount of results. For example, I'm sharing a VA with one other person, and she works like 6 to 8 hours per week for us, maybe. But it's still
Wow.
enough. Like this month I bought stock for 15K, and it's not the full VA. So scaling is with this methods, you don't need 10 VAs or army run VAs. because like if you create the efficient process in the first place and then outsource it, you will need much less workforce to achieve the same results.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the leverage that you've been able to get with, I suppose, half a team member, half a VA, Actorio, and your system has just been insane. It's really impressive. So I think we'll come back to that towards kind of the second half and talk a little bit more about that in detail. I mean, the big thing for me, I didn't actually realize until you mentioned it there that you'd kind of started with private label. A lot of people or tried to start with private label. A lot of people start with private label or try to. I was the same. I started researching private label in Germany. Actually, the course that I signed up to was launching a private label product in Germany from the UK. My Spanish is a lot better than my German, and my Spanish is terrible. So my keyword research wasn't great at all. I think I kind of wore out Google Translate. So yeah, I kind of really, but like yourself, I was paying the £30 a month for about 9 months while I was doing the research, never got anywhere, and then found arbitrage and never looked back. So yeah, thanks for sharing that part. I didn't realize that story. You've got a secret admirer. I'm not sure who that is. That looks like something Eamon would write, but I don't know who that was. So let's see, comments. Yeah, so join the challenge in May time, and in terms of the content and supports that's available. Yeah, thank you for your kind words. Big thing that we're trying to get across is that there's live coaching every single week with us. You're able to leverage our experience, our mistakes, and kind of avoid them. That's the whole point of this. So, yeah, Evelyn Lloydie and Emma McCaffrey. I'm not sure who that is. Thank you. So, yeah, in terms of numbers, you've mentioned numbers a couple of times there. So, it's really kind of, you did a post in August. So, you mentioned, was that 130,000 euros so far this year?
Yes, and like 3,600 units or something like that. So like, it's not the cheap inventory I have. Mostly I'm doing toys and beauty stuff, so it's between 20 to 40 euros and a few electronics, but most it's like yeah, in the middle range, I would say. And that's the super cheap stuff, but not super expensive.
Yeah. And it's cheaper than Amazon 360. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions for Sebastian or myself, we'll answer questions in the second half of this. We've also organized a meetup in December, so I'm going to share the link for that. So if you want to come up to Manchester or come down to Manchester, I'll share a link for that later on. And if anyone's on the fence in terms of getting started with iGen or started with Amazon, I'll share a link to get booked in for a call as well. So I'll do that shortly. But so the main kind of product categories you're sourcing, Sebastian, that's toys, beauty products, and some electronics. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So like the advantage in these categories is that brands work quite well in this brand. So for example, Playmobil, or like if you have all the product palettes, if you go for home and living, if you buy furniture, brands are not that important. And if you go for categories like toys and beauty products, most people are looking for special brands. So if you know, for example, okay, it's a working brand, you can search with this keyword for specific products of this brand, and you will find a higher hit rate, or yeah, like at some point you want to start. And what I recognize that like the brands have a big impact on like sales rank, for example. So you can find some brands which are like not the big shiny ones, like the smaller ones, but if you look for this specific brands, you will find more big deals because they are just cheaper, but they have still high like trust from other buyers or users. So you can estimate that they're like if you look for this specific brand, you will find more deals. And yeah, for example, I was talking about Google Sheets. From the SAS export, for example, I put up the manufacturer and I have a best like a listing with the brands, and I see, okay, from my recent sales, which brands are the most common ones, and like how many deals I found from a specific brand, for example. And then I can, for example, look for a wholesaler from this specific brand. So this helps me even with finding wholesaler in a specific field of like toys or like beauty. So
Yeah,
like
that's awesome. So
most of the time, like there are two aspects of the Amazon business. Like the physical layer is like the prepping and the shipping. And like I use a prep center, so the physical part is like completely outsourced. The only part I need to handle is like the returns. But on an information level, it's all about like information. You have the information from the estimated sales, like the estimated profit, and everything in place. So like you need to link the tools and the information and get some information from the buying and selling you are doing. So you can improve your process, like looking back how many items I sold, or like from which brand, or where did I get those items. For example, in tactical arbitrage, you can implement XPaths to add other sites, and then you need to know if it's worth to integrate this website, for example. And you will, like at the beginning, you start with manual sourcing at some websites which are not integrated. And at some point, you need to decide, okay, does it work? Is it worth the time to implement the XPath to get it added to tactical arbitrage, for example?
yeah, I think it's quite clear that, well, just to kind of go full circle. So I had a call with Sebastian last week and showed me how he um, is organizing Google Sheets and integrating everything, and it's killer. So what we're doing for clients, Sebastian has agreed to basically do a mini sort of coaching session on what that looks like, probably next week, just the time. So we have coaching every Wednesday, pretty much straight after this. So Eamon hosts that. So next week, or just whenever suits kind of Sebastian, we'll go through that process and how to set that up. So it's basically integrating Actorio, SAS, and then Google Sheets. So basically, I'll share with Actorio. The way I'm kind of describing it to people, it's like tactical arbitrage with steroids. It's been great for us. We are one of the few people in the UK are actually using it at the moment. We did a live, about a month ago in this group with Ari Hotspear and Marcus Lombardo, the two designers who are both based in Barcelona. So that's a couple of weeks ago. Basically, the big difference, well, one of the big main differences for me as compared to tactical arbitrage, if you want to scan, if you want to source from a site using tactical arbitrage, you basically need to decide a day or 2 days before to start running that scan. Then you see the results and go through it. With Actorio, it's done in I don't know, a couple of seconds, something like that. Sebastian, it's done very, very quickly. So what you're able to do is do things pretty much in real time. You then use analysis software, so you use SAS, and Sebastian has integrated it, so it's like a seamless process. Now, the process where Sebastian's talking about, basically, I would call that 80-20, so, or Pareto's law, where you're basically finding something that works, basically spend a lot of time, and at the start with everyone, you'll spend a lot of time trying to find out what works. You'll find something that works, concentrate on that, and then refine that down. So you're basically getting 80% of your results from 20% of your time and just diluting that. So that, concentrating that, I beg your pardon. So then you're talking about wholesalers and finding wholesale sources for those products as well. So you're now at that stage. Sebastian, do you want to talk a little bit about that and what that looks like and how that's benefiting the business?
Like I just signed up for the wholesale, like the beta testing. So I'm just starting my wholesale journey, but I was quite lucky at the beginning because I found one like diamond, I would call, from a wholesaler perspective. So I can, like, at some point it was like 75% of my deals were from one wholesaler in Europe. And like they have new inventory every week. They have a new stock list. They have awesome deals from like good brands for good prices. But like for scaling, I don't want to like place 100 orders per day at the moment. So I'm just focusing more on wholesale. And like in Actorio, there are a few wholesalers integrated, for example, from Spain. So I just signed up for all of them, and yeah, looking where it gets. And like talking about Google Sheets, so one big advantage is like you like there's the ultimate sourcing sheet, which is getting the data from Amazon backend, but like you could also create your own sourcing sheet, for example, based on the SAS export. And from example, you can, what is like really a game changer, what probably most of the people would never think about it, at least, is custom SKUs, like the identifier you can give your items in the inventory. Like from my SAS export, whenever I decide to buy something, I create an export to the Google Sheet, and I can then create the SKU containing the source, like where I bought the flip, then the buy price, and who sourced it, was it myself or a VA or whatever. And I use the SKU for like in another sheet, I can create the listings for Amazon with a file upload. So then I have the buy price available in all the different tools. For example, SDK repricer. If I go for the cost of goods, I just see the SKU and I can type in the buy price without looking for any receipts or invoices or something like that. So in every tool, you know exactly the buy price for how much you bought it. And like you don't, like this is connecting everything based on the SKU, and that's just one advantage. And it's a big time saver because like usually I was typing in the cost of goods like every 2 weeks, and then I had to search for different invoices, and it just took ages. And now it's like 5 minutes per week, and it's done. And in all the tools, it's a matter of minutes and not like an hour anymore.
Yeah, I've just dropped a link for a trial with Actorio. So to basically explain kind of the background to Actorio, we did a live with Ari and Marcus a few weeks ago. Now, Ari and Marcus are both based in Barcelona in Spain, and there's a real opportunity for anyone in the UK who wants to get in on Actorio kind of early. So basically, Actorio is really well developed for Europe. So if you can imagine online arbitrage in the UK, there's maybe 300 or 400 websites in the UK. the way Actorio works, it takes about a day and a half to actually index a new website. But once it's indexed, it'll be on. You could basically jump into, say, Argos and see every single product in Argos. You can then do it for Sebastian's website. You can then do it for Lloyd's website. You can then do it for Eamon's website. Once it's indexed, it's there. Now, because it's a European development, European developers, they basically, I mean, I don't know, Sebastian, I mean, how many websites are actually on Actorio for Europe at the moment?
I think it's around 200 websites, and like I joined it like 3 or 2 weeks ago, and I sent them like 20 websites, and they already integrated 10 of them. So they are really fast, and like I don't know when they added the new website to tactical arbitrage for Germany the last time, but like Actorio, they added 10 in like a week or something like that. So it's not too like Actorio is much better from this perspective, and like you have direct contact to the company through iGen, and like if you send them a website, they will add it in just a few days. So it's really great.
Yeah, it's very similar to, in fairness, Seller Toolkit with Norm and SAS with Al. If you send them a message, they'll get back to you straight away. Whereas I don't even know who's designed tactical arbitrage. So don't want to get this, don't want to talk completely about Actorio, but it's awesome. And it's been game changer for us in the last few weeks. So with the UK though, there's more and more websites being added daily, basically from me and my team and a few other people who are actually using it in the UK. So if you're using, basically the details of the trial is there. If you sell in Europe, it's worth doing the kind of premium offer. So the way it works is if you watch that live from a few weeks ago, it'll explain how it works. There's two tiers, basically. The first tier, so the €97 tier is for just the UK or just Germany. You'll still see all the charts for the rest of Europe, if that makes sense, but you won't have access to sourcing in Europe. You'll just have access to sourcing in the UK. If you watched that live a few weeks ago, it made much more sense. So, yeah, yeah. If you're using it, it'll make sense. So, yeah, Steve Jenkins, completely over my head. Yeah, if you check out that live from a few weeks ago, there's like a screen sharing process, and you'll be able to see Ari and Marcus go through things. So yeah, and they're in the group as well. So if you want to reach out to them and send them a message, they are very, very helpful as well. Cool. So yeah, you are scaling and systemizing everything as you're going along. And well, have you set sort of a target for Q4, or this will be your first Q4, I suppose? So kind of uncharted territories.
Like I need to check if I can get enough inventory to Amazon, but my goal, like my stretch goal, is like to reach 200K till end of the year. So when I first started this, like I wanted to do this as a side hustle to like get 400 to 600 euros profit after taxes to reduce my working hours, and now I see the potential like to completely quit my job in maybe a year. So it's amazing, and yeah, never imagined this will happen at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, and I mean, like I've said, everyone pretty much watching this will be an Amazon seller. So yeah, all the different stages of their journey, there's a heck of a lot of opportunity online for Amazon and e-commerce. And for you to get to that stage, I think you reduced your working hours anyway down to like 30 hours a week, so you could concentrate on this a little bit more.
Yeah, so like in August, I made like 28K of revenue, and like I was struggling to work 8 hours anymore because I was knowing that what I can do in less time. Like it's at the moment, like the profit is almost equal to my revenue for my 40-hour job, and so I decided, okay, I want to reduce my working hours to 6 hours per day, which frees up much more time, and it's awesome. Like today, I was finished after 6 hours, and I was so happy. So it's like such a big improvement of life quality, and yeah, I have much more fun sourcing for Amazon and then working in my 9 to 5 job, because like yeah, it's just building your own system or your own company, or
Yeah.
it's just a great feeling to achieve your goals, and it's your own work and your own ideas which lead to this success.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's what I did for just under a year. I went 4 days a week. So I had every Friday off. So I basically had 4 days off, 4 days in my job, and then 3 days on Amazon. So Friday and the weekend, that's the way I did it. And it turned into the mornings and the evenings as well. But yeah, like you say, it's great having a job you enjoy, but when it's your own business, it's just the time you're investing is just it's like 10x because you're investing in something that you own rather than someone else own. If that makes sense. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, we'll invite some questions and get some questions answered shortly. A couple of things to announce. So very kind of exciting for us. We have organized a meetup in December. So we've organized a meetup in Manchester in December at the Hilton Hotel, Manchester Piccadilly. 17th of December is the Friday before Christmas. So we basically chose that Friday so that people involved in Amazon would basically be more or less finished. So by that stage, you'll have, well, everything in but the FBA by, at least kind of the start of that week. And yeah, you're not switching off, but that's kind of the best weekend that we chose or we could pick. So I'm going to drop a link and just some details on that. So if you want to get involved, it's a meetup, including dinner and a glass of bubbles on arrival. So I'm just going to pop that in here. So we announced this a few weeks ago to our clients first. So we've given clients first kind of refusal on getting booked in. So if you are free on that Friday, Friday the 17th, it's in Hilton, Hilton Doubletree, Manchester Piccadilly. So it's literally a 2-minute walk from the train station. So you can basically get a train there from pretty much anywhere and potentially just a train home. There's loads of hotels as well if you want to indulge, stay over, and make a real night of it. So yeah, get involved. It can be awesome. Sebastian has booked a first class flight and he's going to be landing that morning. So yeah, we'll see him there too. And yeah, all of us are going to be across. I think Liam might be on the other side of the world backstage. So it would be a shame to miss out on him, but myself, Eamon, and Luke are all attending. So yeah, if you want to get involved, get booked in, and we need to get numbers because it's prepaid because there's dinner involved, so we need numbers pretty sharpish. So sooner you get booked in, sooner we can get that paid for and all the rest of it. So yes, let's have a look at some questions. So we've got 15 people watching this, so thank you guys for logging in. So you've got you've got a couple of people from London. We've got Blackpool represented. So hi Trudy, hope you're well. We've got Eamon watching, Steve Jenkins, Kelvo's watching. First question from Mr. Kelvin Boyle. What capital did you start with, Sebastian?
So I was starting with like 2K of capital at the beginning for the first month, and then I saw that capital is the limiting factor, and I was discussing with a bank for a loan, and at the end I decided to sell some stocks, and I added something like 15 or 20K to the Amazon business, and yeah, like it's just a much higher return of invest compared to stocks at the moment. So it was an easy choice, and I think at the moment total capital in the business, like with the profits, are like something between 40 or 50K.
Wow, so you started off with that investment, and between stock disbursements and cash, you're at that level already. It's awesome.
Yeah, like I would need to look up my exactly numbers. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just continually just rolled over money and just reinvested.
Everything is reinvested at the moment. Like even I reduced my working hours, I still reinvest everything, because like before it was like I saved some money, and like I now reduced my working hours, but like I could now take out the money from, or like the difference from my 40 hours to my 30 hours, and it wouldn't affect my growth. But like I want to make the most out of Q4, so I start to pay myself like beginning of next year.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's kind of a trick a lot of people don't realize is available, that to do this as a side hustle. That's how a lot of people start, and then a lot of people have that goal of telling the boss that you're not going to be turning up on Monday. But I think a lot of people don't even consider just going part-time or flexible, because I'm sure it's quite similar in Germany, that any employer needs to, if you put in a request for reduced hours, they need to consider it and get back to you in writing, and basically explain why they're not going to offer that to you. So my background's in employment law, and if anyone's kind of wondering about that, feel free to send me a message. It won't be copper bottomed or legal advice, but it'll be kind of my experience. But yeah, it's an option that's available. Rather than go from quitting your job, you can have that intermediate point where you're reducing your hours, maybe doing 4 days a week, and then you can see if, like doing this full time is something that you'd like to do. So yeah, very wise move, Sebastian. Message from Sharon. Hi Sharon, hope you are well. I think I sent you a message in regards to something previously, so it might be worth checking that out. Yes, this is recorded, so this is obviously live. The live stream stays in the group. There is a list of all these lives we've done. This is number, what number is this? This is number 31. So we've done 31 weeks in a row of lives. 31 weeks in a row of lives, and they're all in the group, and they're also on YouTube as well, if you want to catch up on YouTube. So yeah, I hope that answers that. Lena Bunn. Hi, Lena. Hope you're well. Hi, guys. If selling in Germany from the UK, how does tax work? So, obviously, Sebastian sells in Germany to Germany. I sell in the UK to the UK. Now, I can't really answer that from experience, but I mean, in terms of tax and VAT, I had a call with Amazon. You can sell, basically, if you want to sell via FBA in Germany, you would need to register for VAT. I know that's not what you're maybe asking about in terms of tax. If you want to sell via FBA, you'd need to register for VAT in Germany and then store your your inventory in Germany under IOSS. However, you can actually sell in Europe via merchant fulfilled without having to register for VAT, and you can do that under the UOSS, the Union One-Stop Shop. I probably got those two mixed up, but you can actually sell in Europe via merchant fulfilled without having to register for VAT. And then, yeah, in terms of tax, how tax works, you need to speak to the accountant, but it would be kind of normal tax rules. So I had that call with Amazon probably nearly a month ago with a girl called Alice, and she explained that. So if you haven't had that call with Amazon, that's how that works. And you could probably arrange that call with them as well. So yeah, there's Kelvo tipping in with his pearls of wisdom. You need to register for Germany Tax Authority and certificate also. Thanks. Can you go into more detail for this? I have a limited company. Is it better to open a new limited company and sell the Amazon account solely for the use of selling in Germany? That's kind of, yeah, there's pros and cons to both. I haven't done that. I know Thomas Parkinson has talked about doing that where you have a company for the UK, you have a company for the States, and then you have a company for Germany as well. Linked to Actorio, and you've got Kelvo. Steve Jenkins, oh, you signed up to, yeah, you signed up to Actorio by the sounds of it. And then you've also got mentioned SAS and STK integration. Liam, nice message from Liam, and I would agree with that. You are a wizard, Sebastian. Certainly is. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that training whenever that happens, whenever it suits you. Yeah, it'd be great to see that. Okay, message from Sashi. Sebastian, do you have a sourcing, VA sourcing for you? So I think you've mentioned that previously, but do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yes, actually, like I was like there's one German prep center, and like he's really providing some great service for the community. So I asked him what he's struggling with, and he said he is focusing on his prep service, but he has VA, which has not that much to do at the moment because he has no time to give her like the tasks, like source at this shop or look at this website. So we made agreement, and so we share the VA. So I tell her where to look for deals, and she's looking or reviewing the deals in Actorio, and the deals are saved in the Google Sheet. And like we have both access to this, and it's like our private two-person deal service. And
Nice.
yeah, she is like working 2 to 3 hours, or something like that per day, or sometimes less if there is. Yeah, so it's like 1/3 or 50% of her full-time VA. So yeah, with tools, you don't need that many VAs to have enough deals for your capital. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like what you talked about at the start, Sebastian, just with community, it's massive. So whenever I started off, I was very active on Facebook. I have another Facebook group for Irish, well, Northern Irish Amazon sellers, and met Eamon, Donal, Kelvo through that. And yeah, they've all been a big help. So what you're talking about, we would call resource pooling. So if you've got a resource, potentially if you're looking at something you can't quite afford yourself, or maybe just doesn't make sense to have on your own, if you start reaching out to people and say, listen, or start reaching out to people who are maybe at a similar level to you and have similar kind of ambitions, and just explain this is what we're thinking of doing. So you can do it with, you can do it with some software, but it's kind of grow out of that quite quickly. I know some people do share Keepa. If you've got a really small budget, you can share other things like, well, tactical arbitrage and Actorio, I suppose. You could share that. And then VAs, or a deal pooling service. So there are things that we are looking at implementing within iGen. There's going to be some changes with how the community works with iGen. We're going to kind of duplicate things and have a Discord channel, which we were speaking about last week, Sebastian. Yeah, definitely the way with kind of Facebook changes, and yeah, lots of different things happening there. Discord, and yeah, having another community there is going to be really important going forward. So we're going to pioneer that. We hope to have something launched potentially by the end of the week, if not the end of the week, start of next week for Discord. So there'll probably be something along the lines of, well, we'll talk about that when we release it next week, by the sound of things. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Sashi. Potentially, if you want to start small and share, then there will be opportunities for that as well. And finally, I've just dropped a link. If anyone is interested in the same sort of support Sebastian's had, feel free to get a call booked in with Liam. No obligation whatsoever. Very helpful, very informative, and you'll be left with a clear understanding of what's available and how it could potentially work for yourself. So we've got maybe another 5 minutes. So is there any other questions that you guys have for either myself or Sebastian or the meetup or Actorio? Got 12 people watching at the moment. If there's any other questions, be great to get a few answered. Cool. Sebastian, is there anything that you want to, any more pearls of wisdom you want to cast out?
What, cats?
To share.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I cannot like if you're not using or take advantage of like the Google export of like SAS or Viber Pro, they both have it. Like you will find deals, but you like if you save the deals in Google Sheets, you have the history of all your found deals, and you can analyze them, and it can improve your sourcing for the future. So like if you want to improve your skills, that's like a must-have, like this kind of Google export. And yeah, and based on the Google export, you can share it with VAs so they have access to it as well, and like you can see how much you spend in a month on wholesale, on online arbitrage. I mean, all the information you want to know at some point, it's there if you just place it there. If you just hit the small export button, you can have all the data you need to improve your business, and like know where you need to adjust to scale, or like improve your return of invest or whatever.
Yeah, the data, the analysis, easy for me to say, the data is just so important. I mean, you can find so much important and useful information if you know how to read it, and you're storing it and just analyzing it properly. It's massive. You can find so many quick wins. We spent some time this morning, well, one-to-ones this morning, and then spent some time just looking at things, and yeah, found some kind of really quick wins, especially for Q4. So yeah, it's really, really important to keep on top of that. Just check if there's any more questions. Agreed. Good man, Kelvo. Yeah, so we will wrap this up. So if anyone is on the replay, kind of 3 things to bring your attention to. If you are not part of our iGen community and want to find out a little bit more about what that looks like, book at a call. Very, very informal, there's no obligation whatsoever. However, we've had so many success stories like Sebastian. Sebastian's just kind enough to share his at the moment. So really, fingers crossed to hit that 200K before the end of the year. Can't see why you wouldn't. We had, I don't know about yourselves, but yesterday was, I don't know, I think everyone had just went completely bananas yesterday in terms of sales. It's the best day for profit we've had all year.
Nice.
Yeah. Margin as well was in uncharted territory for us as well. It's kind of Kelvin Boyle type margins. It's kind of 40-50% type margin yesterday. So yeah, pretty insane. And yeah, just really looking forward to leveraging Q4. So if you're on the fence, want to get involved, get a call booked in. If you guys are free and want to come down and meet us, meet other sellers, and just network, and have a really nice meal, enjoy the environment, and just let your hair down and kind of celebrate a really tough year, get yourself down to Manchester, the king of margins. Get yourself down to Manchester, December the 17th. Hilton Hotel, Hilton Doubletree, right next to the train station. And third of all, Actorio, the software we're talking about, there's a link there to get started. There's a 2-week trial. So if you wanted to try it for the next 2 weeks, find some extra product for Q4, get involved. There's also the replay as well. So I've linked the replay in that as well. So yeah, plenty to be getting on with for the rest of the evening. Thank you again, Sebastian. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed hearing about your story and I hope that was valuable for everyone else. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Cool. Well, thank you again. And yes, thanks for everyone who tuned in. And yes, we will see you next week. Take care, guys.
All right.
Cool. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.